Hey guys, it's Brittany, and the article that I reviewed this week was titled How to Teach an Old Dog New Tricks, Training Techniques for the Adult Learner. So, as adults, we know what we want, we know why we want it, we know what we want to learn, and we know why we want to learn it. We have values, we have opinions, we have knowledge, and we want to be acknowledged for having all of those things. We are goal oriented, we want to achieve, and sometimes we're afraid to fail. So, how do we successfully teach adults? Well, this article offers theories and techniques for a successful training of adults. Two of the theories offered are two that we've talked about in class, which are pedagogy and andragogy. Pedagogy being the education of children, and andragogy being the education of adults. Next, the sensory theory is the idea that adults use senses to learn. So, like hearing or like playing a short recording during a training, or watching a short clip during a training could help a learner retain information better. The reinforcement theory is the idea that people learn based on receiving a positive reinforcement for their behavior or a negative reinforcement for their inappropriate behavior. So like they want to know that they've done something right, like, hey, you done this right, you get to go home an hour early next week, or they've been told that they've done something wrong. They could be written up for it, or just simply gave a verbal warning, and then they learn from that mistake so that they won't have to make that mistake again. Lastly, the facilitation theory is the idea that the learners want to be engaged in the training. So just being asked their opinion, or being asked to give an example of a time that whatever could be helpful to them. So, and facilitators should be open-minded to all thoughts and opinions that are expressed by the learners. So next, moving into the teaching techniques. So how do we get the material presented in the best way? So first of all, we want to recognize that we will have a different group each time we present, and these different people will learn differently than others. So we want to get familiar with our learners. So maybe before even developing the training, learn who they are, how they learn, maybe even talking to them face to face and asking them how it is that they learn. And then you can take that advice or whatever you learned from that and develop your theories, or pick out which theory you want to choose from, and then develop your technique. So by knowing who your audience is and getting a sense of how they might better learn could be helpful for choosing your theory and applying any technique. So before starting any training, you first need to develop a needs assessment, and this should be done before the training. So you could even talk to the learners and figure out what it is that they want to know, what it is that they feel is important. And you could even do this during the training, and when you figure that out, then you could tailor the training into whatever their needs are. So, and you want to define your objectives and be clear about them. Let them know what it is that they're going to be learning. And so maybe they could even ask questions by knowing what the objectives are from the training. And then you want to be mindful of any breaks that you might need. So having breaks, it could give the learners a time to ask you questions if they didn't understand anything, and then it just gives them a time to maybe regroup before getting through the rest of the training. So lastly, you want to know what motivates your learners. What is their attitude toward learning? What stimulates them, and what are their needs? So, and as a trainer, during the training, you want to really be familiar with the material, so that maybe if one of the learners asks a question that might not even be related to what you're talking about, it'll be good if you could switch gears and without losing your path of the training. So being able to get back right back on track. So as a facilitator, you want to be familiar with what it is that you're presenting. You want to have empathy for your learners. You want to value what it is that everything that they say. You want to respect them and be enthusiastic as a facilitator. If you're enthusiastic, it will draw the learners to you, so they will want to actually listen to you if you actually sound like you're into what you're talking about, and it'll draw them into the information that you're giving out. So, and you want to demonstrate clarity. So ask questions or answer any questions that anyone might ask, so that you know everybody's on the right track. So in closing, educators want to respect your learners, and you want to respect that their needs, and you want to present information based on their needs. This article gave theories and techniques for successfully presenting a successful training. So devote your time to developing a lesson that fits the way your learners learn best, so that they are able to retain information, and we as teachers can successfully give that information to teach adults. Thank you.